Good morning, here we are at Eco Classics. Today we're here to see the Land Rover Series 3, made between 1971 and 1985, and the most common model of the Land Rover. Let's go over and talk to Nick and see what this conversion involves. Morning, Nick.
Hi Adam,
How are you? Yeah, we've got another Land Rover, the third one now.
Third, fourth, I don't know. We could.
There's so many. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is a little bit different though.
Yeah.
Right?
What's happening on this one?
Everything else that we've done so far has been Defender.
Yeah.
But this was the last of the series Land Rovers. This is 1976.
Right.
Series 3. Very similar to Series 2. Had a 2.3 litre diesel engine in here.
Yeah.
Real old puffer. All-wheel drive. But you could disconnect the front wheels through a freewheeling lock on the front wheel and on the transfer box.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to try and replicate that in this car as well. So that's quite different from what we've done before.
Yeah.
So here we've got the back of the Land Rover.
Quite a bit of space, isn't it?
Yeah, big space, right? Big steel box.
Yeah.
Opposite this, a lot of this is aluminium up top.
Yeah.
It's got quite a nice look. First aid box. It's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And all the bits that came out that we asked the customer to keep. Interesting having the spare wheel there right behind the driver.
Yeah.
Don't think I'd like that particularly.
Would they normally be kept on these? I'm not sure.
Well, a lot of them didn't they?
On the back of the door, wasn't it?
On the back of the door, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm a little bit surprised with that there. But again, underneath here it's all free. I mean, yeah,
So it's got space for you to do.
Loads of space. Yeah, I mean, we don't really want to intrude into the back here. I think we can do everything we want underneath.
Yeah.
To keep it out of the way, right?
And he's keeping this as is, has he? It's basically.
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, looks good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And we're not sure where to put the fast charge yet, are we?
The fast charge socket, no, because it won't really fit where the fuel filler is. I mean, what we could end up doing is putting the Type 2 socket in there, and then put the fast charge somewhere else under the bonnet, something like that, where it's a bit more less accessible, but you don't use it as often, right? So when you come home from driving, you can just plug it in normally at home. If you want to do fast charge, maybe you have to lift the bonnet, or maybe it goes in here somewhere. Don't know yet, but that's kind of further down the road. Yeah.
As well as the plastic grille, which is a bit of a disappointment, isn't it? The headlights on the later models got moved to the wings here. That was because of America, Australia, and the Dutch rules about lighting on the roads, apparently. So they put them actually into here. It makes sense, because that was kind of an empty space. It makes sense for me to be further. What do you think? Yeah, what do you think? A bit squashed in there, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, that carries through to Defender, right?
Yeah, that's right, carried through. That's where the Series 3 changed things up a bit. Yeah, which is...
And you can see the evolution, can't you?
Yeah, which is good, yeah. Look at inside it, because on the Series 3 they changed the dash, because the original ones were metal, and they changed this old plastic dash and they put it over here. It was originally in the middle console there.
Yeah, so actually, funny enough, there's a lot of stuff that's plastic on this.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of difference there between the Series 2 and Series 3. We talked a little bit about the steering earlier on, right? So this clearly needs a little bit of work. You know, there's all sorts of interesting things, like the handbrake connects onto a drum brake at the back of the transfer box. So that's new, right? Because we're changing the transfer box to something different.
Yeah.
The tunnel's slightly narrower than what we've played with before, so I don't know quite how that's going to work.
Yeah.
You know, whether we have a shifter on the floor like we've done in other cars, or whether we use a rotary or something in it.
Not that one that Les didn't like, that shifter.
Yeah, that one. We have put one of those into a Land Rover. Okay. Customer loves it. So there's a lot of space in this. Obviously, it's long wheelbase, so there's plenty of space for battery. We think we can probably get 21 in the front, and then another 6 underneath in the rear area. So that quite how that will play out on weight distribution, I'm not sure yet, but we'll have to calculate that up a little bit. But I think we've got the basics of what we want to do. you know, running the gauges in these things is quite easy as well. I don't really see a big problem with any.
So that will stay the same, will it? So
that'll all stay the
retro
same.
look to it and everything.
Yeah, and then we'll have a small screen that the customer can pull out when they want to have a look at anything in any detail.
Yeah.
And that will hide inside the dashboard here.
Yeah.
Luckily somebody's taken the dirty old diesel out already. We've got a few more bits to take out, things like clutch pedal and that sort of thing. But we've got a lot of space. We'll get rid of all of this that holds the old air cleaner and the battery and the 12-volt battery in, and we'll put that 12-volt battery will go underneath the passenger seat, as we've done on the other cars. As we've got rid of the gearbox and the transfer box that was in here, I think it was an LT77 transfer box it had in here. So we've taken that out, and because we've already designed our 150 or 120 kilowatt motor with the reduction box with an LT230 transfer box, which is exactly the same as what we put into the Defenders, we just want to pick up that whole unit and put it into this car. There will be some modifications inside the transfer box to get this disconnect of the front axle. So we've gone to Ashcroft, recognised supplier of transfer boxes, and they've built us one for this car. We've also been through and calculated all the different gear ratios that we need, and we've decided that we just want a 1-to-1 ratio in that box, and that will give us a top speed of about 80 miles an hour, which is probably seat of the pants stuff in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it will do not. I mean, on paper it will do 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, right? I mean, this was probably 25-30 seconds originally, right? So we've got to be careful that we get the right balance there, and we don't don't put too much performance into it. So I think that there's obviously some thought that needs to go into that. Don't forget, this is on leaf springs as well, right? The Defender's on coil springs. So there's quite a bit of difference there in the way that the cars will drive. Also, steering system, it's quite different. This hasn't got power steering. The customer wants power steering, so we're looking at putting a column-mounted power steering system into it.
Yeah.
But you know, the steering wheel, you can move it about half a turn before the wheels turn. So there's clearly issues with the whole steering system that we need to get into as well.
So there you have it. There's the Series 3 Land Rover, and we'll see how this one progresses over the next few weeks. But for now, please like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you next time down the barns.